Imagine if the entire 4.5 billion year history of Earth were compressed into a single day. At midnight, the planet was born out of fire and cosmic dust. By early morning, tiny microbes emerged, quietly weaving the foundations of life for billions of years. By late afternoon, forests spread and dinosaurs ruled the continents for more than 100 million years. And then, only in the final few seconds before the day comes to an end, humans appeared. We often see ourselves as the center, the pinnacle of evolution, yet in the scale of Earth's story, we may be nothing more than a brief chapter in an endless book. What if humanity is not the climax, but just another fleeting phase? Part 1, The Origins of Earth. If we were to turn back the wheel of time to 4.5 billion years ago, the very beginning of Earth would leave us in awe. The Earth at that time was nothing like the gentle blue planet we know today. Instead, it was a giant ball of fire, chaotic, violent, constantly bombarded by meteorites and covered with oceans of molten rock. This early stage is called the Hadean Aeon, named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld, and rightly so. The Earth then was no less than a fiery hell. The skies were thick with dust and poisonous gases, methane, ammonia, sulfur, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. The air was completely unbreathable by any modern life form. The surface was endlessly reshaped by erupting volcanoes, with lava covering vast lands. No oceans existed yet. Instead, there were endless seas of molten stone, hammered by giant asteroids crashing down at unimaginable speeds, releasing energies far greater than nuclear bombs. To stand on Earth at that time would be to witness a living hell. Yet, within that chaos lay the seeds of life itself. The very meteorites that battered the Earth brought not only destruction but also water ice and primitive organic molecules, the building blocks of life. Over immense spans of time, combined with volcanic steam, that water condensed, drop by drop, forming the first rains. These rains did not last for days or even centuries. They fell for millions of years, cooling the Earth's fiery surface, filling its craters, until at last, vast oceans were born. It was the grand birth of the seas. Imagine hearing the endless sound of raindrops sizzling against the hot surface, evaporating, condensing again, cycling for millions of years. That sound would have been the drumbeat of Earth's early symphony, creating oceans that stretched farther than the eye could see. And within those oceans, the most extraordinary story began, the birth of life. But before life itself, Earth endured a long era of only rocks and water. Those first oceans were not blue and clear. They were murky, filled with dissolved metals, salts, minerals. On the surface, volcanic islands rose and sank, one after another. The skies were dark, filled with violent lightning. The whole planet was like an enormous laboratory where lightning, volcanic heat, ocean pressure, and countless chemicals mixed together, sparking reactions that would one day lead to life. Some scientists call this the primordial soup. Within that soup, complex organic molecules began to form, amino acids, nucleotides, the very ingredients of proteins and DNA. These were the first links in the chain of evolution. We cannot know the exact moment when life began. Perhaps it was when a molecule managed to replicate itself. Perhaps when a simple membrane trapped a cluster of molecules. But at some point, a spark happened, and life took root. Life then was not grand. There were no trees, no animals. The first beings were microbes, tiny single-celled organisms invisible to the naked eye. But they were the pioneers. For almost 3 billion years, Earth was ruled only by these microscopic forms, patient and enduring, slowly transforming the atmosphere and the oceans. It is humbling to realize that, rather than humans or dinosaurs, it was these invisible microbes who were the true masters of the planet. They lived everywhere, in the ground, in the deep ocean, in volcanic vents. They witnessed every catastrophe Earth endured, and they remain with us even today. Humanity appeared only in the last few seconds of Earth's clock, but microbes were there since the dawn of life. Philosophically, the lesson is clear: chaos gives rise to order. From fire and destruction, from toxic gases and meteor storms, came oceans, then life. What seemed like endings became beginnings. This rhythm of death and rebirth is the very breath of the universe itself. And it reminds us of a humbling truth: humanity is neither the origin nor the goal. We are only one chapter in Earth's immense book. Before us came countless ages, countless rulers who have vanished. After us, others will surely come. But it all began in that fiery dawn, when Earth emerged from cosmic dust and gave birth to life. From hell itself, life was born, and the story began. Part 2: The Birth of Microbes. When the primordial ocean spread across Earth, the world was still an empty and desolate place. There were no forests, no birds, no fish swimming in the waves. Only vast seas under a dark red sky, volcanoes still erupting violently, and an atmosphere full of toxic gases. Yet, within the quiet depths of those oceans, something miraculous occurred: life emerged. Scientists believe that around 3.8 to 4 billion years ago, from a primordial soup rich in chemical compounds energized by lightning, sunlight, and volcanic heat, organic molecules began to assemble into more complex structures. Some molecules gained the ability to replicate and store information, the seeds of modern DNA and RNA. In that moment, fragile though it was, life stepped onto the stage of the universe. Microbes, the first inhabitants. The first organisms on Earth were not large or majestic. They were simple single-celled entities, later called primitive bacteria. They had no intelligence, no senses, no awareness. Yet their very simplicity was their strength. All they needed was a trace of chemical energy to divide, replicate, and persist. For billions of years that followed, microbes were the absolute rulers of the planet. No other creature challenged their dominance, because nothing else existed. When we imagine the kings of Earth, many think of dinosaurs or humans, but in reality, microbes have been the longest and most enduring rulers, and even today, their reign continues unchallenged. Diversity and adaptability. The key to microbial supremacy is their extraordinary adaptability. They can live in conditions that seem impossible: boiling hot springs over 100 degrees Celsius, frozen glaciers, radioactive waste, the depths of volcanoes, or miles beneath Earth's crust. Their numbers are staggering. A single drop of seawater may contain millions of microbial cells. Many species reproduce rapidly, some doubling in as little as 20 minutes. This makes them nearly invincible to global catastrophes. While large species perish in asteroid impacts or sudden climate shifts, microbes are so small and versatile that they survive. The oxygen revolution. Around 2.5 billion years ago, a monumental shift occurred. A group of bacteria called cyanobacteria learned to harness sunlight through photosynthesis. In the process, they released a byproduct: oxygen. At first, oxygen was toxic to most primitive life. But over time, it accumulated in the atmosphere, triggering what scientists call the Great Oxidation Event. This event completely transformed Earth. Oxygen allowed for more efficient energy metabolism, paving the way for more complex cells. The ozone layer formed, shielding the surface from deadly ultraviolet radiation. Thanks to cyanobacteria, Earth shifted from a suffocating world into a planet suitable for diverse life. The everlasting legacy of microbes. For nearly 3 billion years, Earth belonged solely to microbes. Every breath of oxygen we take, every green forest we see, exists because of their silent labor. Even our bodies are ecosystems of trillions of microbes. They digest our food, produce vitamins, regulate our immune systems. In fact, the number of microbial cells in a human body rivals, and may exceed, the number of human cells themselves. We are not separate from the microbial world, we are part of it. By the measure of evolutionary success, microbes are the ultimate champions. They need no tools, no cities, no technology. Their simplicity is their strength. They have survived everything: asteroid impacts, supervolcanoes, global ice ages, shifting climates. A lesson in humility. Looking back, we realize that humanity is a latecomer. If Earth's history were compressed into a single year, microbes would dominate for nearly 11.5 months, while humans would appear only in the last few minutes of December 31st. We like to think of ourselves as evolution's pinnacle, but by the metrics of time and survival, microbes hold the crown. This truth teaches humility. Our intelligence, creativity, and technology are impressive, but they are just one strategy among countless evolutionary experiments. And there is no guarantee it will last. One day, humanity may disappear, but microbes will remain, quiet, enduring, unconcerned with glory. Perhaps that is the deepest lesson of the microbial age: life does not need grandeur to matter. Even the smallest creatures can reshape a planet, create an atmosphere, and lay the foundations for all that follows. And when humanity's chapter ends, microbes will still be here, carrying on the story as they always have. Part 3, The Oxygen Revolution. If Part 2 was the story of humble but enduring microbes, then Part 3 is the account of a true revolution, the arrival of oxygen in Earth's atmosphere. This event completely reshaped the planet, opening the way for complex life, while also causing one of the first mass extinctions in history. Earth before oxygen. Before about 2.5 billion years ago, Earth's atmosphere contained no free oxygen. It was dominated by carbon dioxide, methane, ammonia, and volcanic gases. In such an environment, primitive microbial life, especially anaerobic bacteria, thrived. For them, oxygen was not just unnecessary, it was toxic. Their energy came from other chemical reactions such as fermentation or anaerobic respiration. Earth then was a suffocating world. The oceans were murky, filled with dissolved iron and minerals. For billions of years, this state persisted, until a tiny organism changed everything. The rise of cyanobacteria. Around 3 billion years ago, a special type of bacteria appeared, cyanobacteria. They had a unique ability, photosynthesis. Using sunlight, they split water molecules, storing energy and releasing oxygen as a byproduct. At first, the oxygen they produced was insignificant. It immediately reacted with iron in the oceans, forming vast layers of iron-rich rock known as banded iron formations, deposits still mined today. But over millions of years, the ocean's iron became saturated, and oxygen began to escape into the atmosphere. The Great Oxidation Event. Between 2.4 and 2.1 billion years ago, oxygen levels reached a tipping point. This triggered the Great Oxidation Event. For many anaerobic microbes, this was catastrophic. Oxygen is highly reactive, damaging cellular structures. As the atmosphere filled with oxygen, countless species went extinct or retreated to isolated oxygen-free environments, deep sediments, caves, or underground pockets. This marks what scientists consider the first mass extinction in Earth's history. Yet, from another perspective, it was a biological revolution. Oxygen enabled aerobic respiration, a process yielding far more energy than anaerobic pathways. With this new efficiency, life could grow larger, more complex, more diverse. Oxygen paved the way for the emergence of eukaryotic cells, the ancestors of all animals and plants. Oxygen and the ozone layer. Oxygen also reshaped Earth's environment in another profound way. It created the ozone layer. Some oxygen molecules, bombarded by ultraviolet light, transformed into O3, ozone. Over time, this ozone layer thickened, forming a protective shield that blocked harmful radiation. Before this, Earth's surface was scorched by ultraviolet rays, forcing life to remain underwater for protection. With the ozone shield, the surface became safer, setting the stage for life to one day colonize land. The paradox of evolution. The Great Oxidation Event was both disaster and miracle. It wiped out most anaerobic life, but enabled complexity to flourish. For anaerobes, it was the end of the world. For the planet, it was the beginning of a new era. This reveals evolution's great paradox: every destruction opens a path to creation. Without the oxygen catastrophe, Earth might still be a world of simple microbes, and humanity would never have arisen. Oxygen's geological legacy. Today, we still find traces of this revolution in ancient rocks. Banded iron formations in Canada, Australia, and elsewhere testify to the time when oxygen first appeared, reacting with oceanic iron. Each layer is a page in Earth's diary, recording the planet's first breaths of modern life. Lessons from the Oxygen Revolution. The Great Oxidation Event is not just a scientific milestone, but also a philosophical reminder. It teaches that great change requires loss. To create a new path, nature must close old ones. In human life, too, progress often demands leaving behind habits, beliefs, or comforts. It also shows that even the smallest beings can change a planet. Cyanobacteria, simple and unthinking, rewrote Earth's destiny simply by surviving and persisting. Power does not always come from size or intelligence, but from endurance across time. And finally, the oxygen revolution reminds us that life is always a balance of destruction and creation. Oxygen, lethal to some, became life-giving to others. In history's current, every crisis carries the seed of renewal. Part 4, Catastrophe and Renewal. After the oxygen revolution, Earth entered a new era. The ozone layer formed, aerobic respiration provided abundant energy, and life grew more complex. Yet, along with progress came a harsh law: extinction. We often see extinction as tragic, but in Earth's grand story, it is not an exception, it is the rule. Life has collapsed many times, and each collapse paved the way for renewal. Early crises. Right after the Great Oxidation, countless anaerobic microbes perished. For them, oxygen was poison. That was the first global extinction. But it was only the beginning. About 2.3 billion years ago, Earth entered the snowball Earth phase. Ice may have covered the entire planet, even the equator. Life nearly vanished, surviving only near hydrothermal vents or temporary warm refuges. Yet from this frozen hell, life endured. When the ice melted, a burst of diversity followed, preparing for complex organisms. Explosion of life and the cost. Around 541 million years ago came the Cambrian explosion. In a short span, countless complex multicellular species emerged. Shell-bearing creatures, primitive arthropods, bizarre predators like Anomalocaris filled the oceans. But with diversity came competition and elimination. Not all species survived. Extinction became a constant companion to evolution. The 5 mass extinctions. Earth's history records at least 5 great mass extinctions. 1. Late Ordovician, 443 million years ago a sudden ice age dropped sea levels, wiping out many marine species. 2. Late Devonian, 372 million years ago climate shifts and ocean anoxia decimated ancient fish. 3. End Permian, 252 million years ago the worst extinction ever, erasing 96% of marine life and 70% of terrestrial species, likely triggered by massive Siberian volcanism. 4. End Triassic, 201 million years ago volcanic activity and climate change cleared the stage for dinosaurs. 5. End Cretaceous, 66 million years ago the most famous extinction, an asteroid impact ended the dinosaurs' reign, allowing mammals to rise. Each event was catastrophic. Yet paradoxically, every extinction opened the door to a new age. Renewal after disaster. Without the end Permian extinction, dinosaurs might never have dominated. Without the asteroid at the end of the Cretaceous, mammals, and humans, might still be small, nocturnal creatures. Nature operates through a brutal but effective cycle: destruction, renewal, evolution. Each collapse makes ecosystems richer, more complex, preparing for leaps forward. The hidden message of extinction. History shows us that no species is immortal. From anaerobic bacteria to towering dinosaurs, all eventually leave the stage. Even humans, who see themselves as the pinnacle, cannot escape. Extinction should not be seen as an absolute end, but as transition. It is the price life pays to continue experimenting, diversifying, and creating new forms. Lessons for today. Scientists believe Earth is entering a sixth mass extinction, this time driven by humans. Forests are vanishing, climates shifting, species disappearing at alarming rates. We are both culprits and victims. But, as before, crises carry seeds of opportunity. If humanity learns to live in balance with nature, we might slow this destructive cycle. If not, Earth will heal, with or without us. Conclusion. Extinction is law, not exception. It is not only an end, but also a beginning. Catastrophe and renewal are two sides of the same coin. Understanding this may help us live with humility, treasuring our fleeting but meaningful role in the endless flow of life. Part 5, The Age of Dinosaurs, Dominion and Collapse. Among the countless chapters of Earth's story, few are as iconic as the Age of Dinosaurs. For more than 160 million years, massive creatures roamed the planet, herbivores of colossal size and ferocious predators with jaws of terror. To us, they embody both awe and fragility, supreme rulers of their time, yet destined to fall. Origins of the dinosaurs. Around 230 million years ago, at the end of the Triassic period, after a mass extinction, ecosystems opened space for new life. In this harsh, hot, carbon-rich world, the archosaurs flourished. From them, a new lineage arose, dinosaurs. Initially, dinosaurs were not dominant. But their upright posture, with legs beneath their bodies, allowed efficient movement, hunting, and endurance. Over time, this advantage propelled them to supremacy. Reign of giants. By the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, dinosaurs ruled the land. Their diversity was astounding: gigantic Brachiosaurus, towering over 15 meters, fierce hunters like Tyrannosaurus rex, swift velociraptors, and armored ankylosaurs. In the skies, their relatives, the pterosaurs, soared, while in the oceans massive reptiles like ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs reigned. Though not all were true dinosaurs, the ecosystems of the time revolved around them. Secrets of success. Why did dinosaurs thrive for so long? Scientists suggest several reasons. First, their bodies were optimized: hollow but strong bones, lightweight yet massive. Their respiratory systems, like modern birds, allowed efficient oxygen exchange. Second, they were highly diverse. When climates shifted, some species vanished, but others adapted. From deserts to rainforests, dinosaurs endured. Third, they faced no true rivals. Mammals of the era were tiny, nocturnal, overshadowed by their reptilian overlords. The cost of dominance. But success came with fragility. Giants needed immense food supplies. Their dependence on stable ecosystems made them vulnerable. When disaster struck, their size became their weakness. The end Cretaceous extinction. 66 million years ago, catastrophe struck. The Chicxulub asteroid impacted near present-day Mexico. The blast equaled billions of nuclear bombs. Dust filled the sky, blocking sunlight, plunging Earth into cold darkness. Plants withered. Food chains collapsed. The great dinosaurs perished. Only small, adaptable survivors remained, among them, primitive birds, the last living dinosaurs. After the dinosaurs, their fall cleared the way for mammals. Once insignificant, mammals expanded into every niche, aquatic forms, massive grazers, and primates. From these primates, humans eventually emerged. Had dinosaurs not vanished, mammals, and humanity, might never have risen. Meaning of their reign. Dinosaurs remind us of the impermanence of power. They ruled unchallenged, yet one cosmic event erased their dominion. Nothing, not even supremacy, is eternal. Lessons for humanity. From dinosaurs, we learn two truths: dominance guarantees nothing, and every collapse creates new beginnings. Their story urges us to be humble, to coexist with Earth rather than conquer it. Part 6, The Rise of Mammals and the Road to Humanity. When the dinosaurs vanished 66 million years ago, Earth's skies slowly cleared. Sunlight returned, and life resumed. The empty niches left by the dinosaurs opened a stage for creatures once small and hidden, mammals. Small survivors in the shadows. Before the asteroid, mammals already existed, but they were tiny, nocturnal, and insignificant, surviving in the shadows. They ate insects, seeds, fruit, and avoided the giants that ruled the day. No one could have imagined these fragile beings would one day give rise to humans. Their strength was adaptability. With fur, warm-blooded bodies, and milk to nourish young, they endured the harsh post-impact climate. As giants perished, mammals thrived. The Paleogene, mammals' golden age. From the Paleogene period, 66 to 23 million years ago, mammals diversified explosively. Early whales evolved from land-dwelling creatures into masters of the sea. On land, rodents, hoofed mammals, and carnivores spread everywhere: forests, grasslands, wetlands. Most importantly, their brains grew larger relative to body size, allowing memory, learning, and social bonds. This set the stage for human intelligence. Primates, the turning point. About 55 million years ago, primates emerged. Living in trees, they developed grasping hands, opposable thumbs, and forward-facing eyes. These traits, seemingly small, transformed their world: climbing, fruit-gathering, and hand-eye coordination. From primates came monkeys, apes, and ultimately, humans. Changing environment, the step toward humans. 7 million years ago, Africa's forests shrank as climate shifted. Grasslands spread. Some primates remained in trees, but one lineage descended and learned to walk upright. Walking freed their hands to carry food, use tools, and care for young. It also gave them vision across the savanna. This step was the beginning of humanity's long journey. Our ancestors. Fossils like Australopithecus afarensis show upright walking over 3 million years ago. Gradually, they made stone tools, hunted together, and evolved larger brains. 2 million years ago, Homo habilis and later Homo erectus harnessed fire, migrated out of Africa, and spread across the globe. Around 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens appeared, the species we belong to. With them came language, memory, culture, and the dawn of human civilization. Meaning of mammals rise. This story is full of paradox. Dinosaurs, the giants, fell, leaving room for small mammals. Fragility, not brute strength, paved the way for new evolution. With adaptability and intelligence, mammals reshaped the world. Humanity, the ultimate product of this journey, must remember, we are the result of chance. Without the asteroid, without climate change, we would not exist. Lessons for humanity. The rise of mammals reveals a truth: all life is interconnected. Humanity is not separate, but part of Earth's vast evolutionary web. To live humbly within it is to honor the planet that sustained countless species before us, and will continue long after us. Part 7, The Rise of Intelligence, From Homo sapiens to Civilization. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, emerged about 300,000 years ago in Africa. At first, we were just another primate, unremarkable among other species. What set us apart was our brain, not just larger, but capable of abstract thought, imagination, language, and culture. These traits transformed us from ordinary animals into world shapers. First steps. For tens of thousands of years, Homo sapiens lived as hunter-gatherers. Moving with the seasons, hunting wild animals, gathering fruits and roots. What distinguished us was our sophisticated tools: arrows, spears, knives from stone and bone. Most importantly, humans had language. Language allowed knowledge to pass across generations. Unlike other animals, we built a cumulative culture. Fire and community. Another milestone was fire. Fire cooked food, making digestion easier and fueling bigger brains. It gave light, warmth, and protection from predators. Around fire, communities formed, stories were told, collective memory was shaped. Equally important was cooperation. Unlike solitary predators, humans hunted in groups, shared food, and raised children together. This social cohesion gave us an edge over stronger but less cooperative species like Neanderthals. Art and belief. About 40,000 years ago, humans created art, cave paintings, figurines, carvings. These were not mere decorations, but signs of symbolic thought. From here came religion, belief in spirits, gods, and an afterlife. Belief systems bound strangers together, enabling large-scale cooperation, something no other species achieved. The Agricultural Revolution. Around 10,000 years ago came the Agricultural Revolution. Humans domesticated plants and animals. Wheat, rice, maize, potatoes became staples. Goats, sheep, cattle, and horses were tamed. This transformed society. Nomads settled. Villages became cities. Populations boomed. The first civilizations arose: Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, China. Writing in history. Spoken language created oral culture. But writing created history. Knowledge could now be preserved accurately across generations. Records, laws, scriptures, and literature emerged. Humanity now carried collective memory beyond individual minds. Writing turned knowledge into power. Empires, religions, and states could not exist without it. It was the threshold from intelligent animals to makers of history. Building civilization. Civilizations invented wheels, metallurgy, monumental architecture, long-distance trade. They built kingdoms, dynasties, empires. Religions shaped morality and law. Yet alongside greatness came conflict, wars, slavery, inequality. Humanity created both beauty and destruction. Science and knowledge. 5 centuries ago, the scientific revolution transformed everything. Through observation and reason, humans explained nature with laws, not myths. Astronomy, physics, medicine, chemistry advanced rapidly. Then came the Industrial Revolution, steam engines, electricity, railways. Humanity gained the power to reshape the planet itself. Human intelligence and the future. Today, human intelligence has reached the point of decoding genomes, exploring space, building artificial intelligence. Yet we face crises, climate change, wars, pandemics, ecological collapse. The journey from Homo sapiens to civilization proves intelligence is powerful, but also dangerous. It can save us, or destroy us. Meaning. The story of Homo sapiens teaches, intelligence is not just a gift, but a responsibility. Used wisely, it opens new horizons. Misused, it may bring extinction. Humanity's challenge is to choose which path to follow. Part 8: Humanity and Absolute Power over the Planet. In Earth's history, no species has ever reached the dominance humans enjoy today. From small groups on the African savanna, Homo sapiens rose to global rulers, reshaping climates, altering landscapes, and determining the fate of countless species. If dinosaurs ruled through biology, humans rule through intelligence, the most powerful and dangerous weapon the planet has ever known. Power from knowledge. Human power does not lie in claws or speed but in knowledge. Through observation, memory, experimentation, and transmission, humans transcended biological limits. Knowledge turned clay into bricks, or into weapons, plants into crops, and wind into energy. Each step expanded humanity's ability to control the world. From tribes to empires. With language and knowledge, humans built complex communities. Villages grew into cities, cities into states, states into empires. Power was no longer individual but collective, thousands, millions cooperating in shared systems. This organizational strength was unique in nature. Even bees and ants, famed for cooperation, acted by instinct. Humans invented abstract concepts, nations, money, laws, gods, and collective belief in them bound strangers together. Exploiting resources and reshaping Earth. A turning point came when humans began exploiting resources on a massive scale, first agriculture, then metallurgy, later coal, oil, and gas. Fossil fuels launched the industrial age, mass production, global transport, and consumer societies. But they also turned humans into a geological force, rivaling natural powers. Today, Earth is no longer wild. Forests are cleared, rivers dammed, oceans overfished. Over half the land's surface is converted into farms, cities, and infrastructure. Humanity and biological dominance. In the food chain, humans sit at the top. We don't just hunt, we breed, domesticate, and control billions of animals. Chickens, cattle, pigs, sheep exist in numbers dwarfing wild counterparts, mostly as living resources. Plants, too, are dominated. Hundreds of species are domesticated and genetically modified, while countless wild species vanish from lost habitats. Humans as a geological force. Scientists call our era the Anthropocene, the human epoch. We alter climate with massive CO2, melt polar ice, raise sea levels, and intensify the greenhouse effect. We create billions of tons of plastic, concrete, and steel, materials nature never produces. To an alien observer, Earth would clearly bear humanity's mark. Absolute power and its shadow. But power comes with risk. Humans alone possess the ability to destroy themselves. Nuclear weapons could erase civilization in hours. Climate change may unravel ecosystems we rely on. Biotechnology could unleash unknown dangers. Artificial intelligence, our crowning creation, may cut both ways. Comparing with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs ruled with biological strength, humans rule with intellect and technology. But neither is eternal. Dinosaurs were wiped out by an asteroid. Humans, no matter how mighty, may perish by arrogance or catastrophe beyond control. Meaning. Humanity is the only species able to reflect on evolution, grasp life's fragility, and choose its path. Yet absolute power may blind us. If we obsess over conquest and exploitation, our fate may mirror the dinosaurs, a fleeting chapter in Earth's vast story. Part 9, The Risk of Extinction and Lessons from Earth's History. Throughout Earth's billions of years, extinction has been inevitable. No species lasts forever. Once mighty rulers vanish, leaving room for others. From this perspective, humanity, despite current dominance, is but a fleeting chapter in Earth's vast story. Past mass extinctions. Earth has endured at least 5 mass extinctions, each erasing 50 to 90% of life. 440 million years ago, in the Ordovician, global cooling lowered sea levels, killing marine life. 250 million years ago, the Permian extinction wiped out 96% of marine species and 70% of land species, the worst catastrophe ever. 66 million years ago, an asteroid ended the dinosaur era, paving the way for mammals and humans. These events prove, no species is immortal. Dominance is always temporary. Humanity and self-made threats. Unlike dinosaurs struck by an asteroid, humanity's greatest threats come from ourselves. Nuclear weapons could erase civilization in hours. Hundreds of detonations would cloak Earth in nuclear winter, blocking sunlight, halting photosynthesis, collapsing food chains. Climate change is another looming danger. Industrial emissions raise global temperatures, melting ice, flooding coasts, spawning storms and droughts that imperil billions. Biodiversity collapse worsens the threat. Dozens of species vanish daily. If ecosystems fall apart, humans may not endure. Perils of technology. Modern technology itself carries risks. Artificial intelligence, unchecked, could surpass human control. Biotechnology could unleash engineered pathogens. Interdependent global systems, energy, finance, internet, could unravel from a single shock. Thus, humanity is both potential victim of nature and creator of risks. Lessons from dinosaurs. Dinosaurs teach one truth: no rule is permanent. They reigned for 160 million years but fell in an instant. By contrast, Homo sapiens has existed just 300,000 years, a blink in geological time. Our existence is fragile. Without adaptation, we too may join the list of the extinct. Responsibility and choice. Yet unlike other species, humans can look back and foresee. Science allows prediction, intellect allows prevention. But knowledge means little without will to act. If we keep exploiting recklessly, polluting, and warring, collapse is inevitable. If we learn from nature and past extinctions, survival remains possible. Meaning. Extinction risk is not just fear, it is a reminder. It humbles us, reminding we are a small part of life's ocean. It warns life is fragile, survival conditional. Humanity's only path to longevity is to protect and cherish the planet. Otherwise, history will repeat, and humans will become mere fossils in tomorrow's rocks. Part 10, Humanity's Future, a brief chapter or a new beginning. Humanity now stands at a crossroads. From early Homo sapiens hunting on the African plains to building cities, inventing science, and reaching space, we have come far. But the pressing question remains, what awaits us ahead? Are we merely a fleeting chapter in Earth's history, or the dawn of a new age beyond our planet? Scenario of extinction. The bleakest path is self-destruction. Threats abound: climate change, nuclear war, pandemics, ecological collapse. Each is dangerous alone, but together they could annihilate civilization. If exploitation and conflict continue, Earth may become barren, resources drained, climate hostile. Humanity could vanish within centuries, as dinosaurs once did. Scenario of regression. Another possibility is regression. Civilization may collapse, populations dwindle, survivors return to primitive life. Even limited nuclear war or pandemic could shatter global systems. Knowledge and technology might be lost. History has seen mighty empires like Rome and Maya fall. Today's global civilization is not immune. Scenario of stagnation. Humanity might also persist without progress, surviving but constrained. In this fragile stability, crises are managed but never solved. Earth may still support billions, but inequality, conflict, and degradation prevail. Survival would be constant struggle. Scenario of sustainable growth. More hopeful is the path of sustainable development. This requires rethinking our place, not as exploiters of Earth, but as partners in its ecosystem. Science and technology could heal rather than harm, restoring forests, cleaning oceans, reducing emissions, building circular economies. Intelligence could become a tool of renewal. Scenario beyond Earth. Beyond lies the dream of becoming interplanetary. Humans already send probes beyond the solar system, land robots on Mars, and plan off-world colonies. Success would safeguard against Earth's disasters. As a spacefaring civilization, we could expand life's frontier and unlock new realms of knowledge. Technology's double edge. In every scenario, technology is pivotal. It may save us, or doom us. Artificial intelligence, biotechnology, nuclear power, space travel, all carry both promise and peril. Only by pairing science with ethics and humility can technology open a brighter future. Otherwise, it may be our undoing. A brief chapter or a new beginning. Ultimately, the question is, will humanity be a short chapter, or the beginning of a new evolution? Greed and destruction may erase us from the cosmic stage. But if we channel intelligence toward balance, cooperation, and creativity, we may bridge life from Earth to the stars. Meaning. The future is not fate but a story still being written. Every act, protecting ecosystems, advancing science, treating one another with dignity, shapes the answer. Humanity's choice will decide, are we fleeting, or the authors of a new millennium? Reflecting on Earth's history and humanity's place within it offers a humbling perspective. Across 4.5 billion years, humans have existed for barely a blink of an eye. We celebrate our knowledge, technology, and power, yet history reminds us, every biological empire has fallen, and there is no guarantee we will be spared. What sets humanity apart is our capacity for awareness. We can look back, learn from past extinctions, and choose how to live to avoid repeating their fate. This gives us both an opportunity and a responsibility. Without change, we may perish; with wisdom, we may open a new age beyond Earth itself. Humanity's future is not predetermined. It is a story still being written, where every action, every choice contributes to the outcome. We may remain a forgotten, brief chapter in the universe, or we may become the beginning of a new epoch, one where intelligence preserves life and expands its horizons. Earth has given us life, but sustaining it is in our hands. That is the greatest lesson from history. Nothing is eternal, but meaning can be created if we live fully and responsibly within the time we are granted. If you found these reflections meaningful, please consider subscribing to Voices of the Planet. Together we can spread knowledge, awaken awareness, and shape humanity's path toward a better tomorrow. Let us build a community that not only listens to Earth's story but also contributes to writing the next chapters for all of us.